So now, what I will say now may surprise you. I think that here, I warn you, the thesis that I will advocate now brought me many troubles with my multiculturalist leftist friends. I am fully aware of all the, how should I call it, racist undercurrents, twists which pertain to liberal position. I accept all that. But my basic, maybe a little bit pessimist insight is the following one. It's almost a little bit a tragic conclusion. 2 points. The first point, I don't think that simple, pure multiculturalism is possible. The right-wingers, not so much in England, maybe also here, but in Germany, for example, I think I mentioned this in the book, my book on violence, how that they had a debate on so-called light culture, leading predominant culture. I think they had a point there, because it's not enough to say, you live in your culture, I live in my culture or faith or whatever, and then all we need is some kind of a neutral legal space to regulate how we tolerate each other. It doesn't work at that level. If multiculturalism is really to thrive, we need a kind of a deeper, or maybe even deeper is the wrong word, maybe it's even better to say superficial, set of shared values of not so much tolerance in the usual sense, but how I respect you and so on, which we all share. So when conservatives claim, nonetheless, we need to have our culture, our values, I would say, yes, let's fight for those values. So let's not leave too easily the terrain to the enemy. I think this is the lesson the left has to learn. We should try to build our own consensus of, I don't like the term values. I would rather say everyday customs. I like this term, customs, rules of how we treat each other decently. Although I disagree with him politically, he was way too soft for me. But here, already in the 30s, late 30s, George Orwell said some wonderful things. I think we should take it very seriously about this everyday decency, customs. If this disintegrates, things fall apart. Here I see the danger of so-called political correctness. I know it's often mocked, criticized in a wrong way. Basically, of course, it's a positive phenomenon, my God. The problems that political correctness attacks are the true problems, racism, sexism, and so on. But the problem is that what political correctness is dealing with are precisely things which can truly be resolved, I claim, only at the level of customs, civility, and so on. What political correctness tends to do is to directly, explicitly normativize them, formulate the explicit rules, or even penalize, legalize them. When you do this, it's unfortunately counterproductive, I think. You know what I mean? Like, let's say we are from totally different cultures. I mean, you concede defeat in advance. You introduce a universe of total guilt if, I have to follow the rules of how am I allowed to address you and so on. This is for me what is bad about liberalism. Liberals like to feel guilty, Oh, I didn't reflect enough. Maybe by treating you kindly, I was still committing some sin of oppression. So it doesn't work in this way. Let me give you, sorry, it's my nature coming from ex-Yugoslavia, Balkan, to be a little bit obscene, but decently obscene for the media. I read somewhere that in a college in Northwest United States, this is the politically correct territory, they did something interesting towards which I'm simply sympathetic. They established, in an apparently purely politically correct way, explicit rules of seduction. And they put it on paper, points, like the basic rule being for every step you have to ask permission, explicitly. Like, can I now unbutton your shirt? Can I put my hand on your breast? And so on and so on. It worked, but I'll tell you why. Not because it worked literally, but because in real life, people eroticized these rules themselves, used them ironically and so on. Here you see it worked, but because of customs. That immediately, if they were to work immediately, it would have been ridiculous, humiliating. I hope, even you, I like to be tasteless, friend, if somebody were trying to seduce you, isn't it that you would say, no, I don't want you to follow rules. I want you to seduce me in a decent way, simply in a decent way. You know what I mean? So that simply it must be as it were in your nature that you do. You know, I don't want you to, can I do this? You know what I mean? This is a nice example of what I'm aiming at. We should be always more and more aware of how the true problem is this social trust set of organic values. Because if we talk about, even about democracy, that's where I see a threat of democracy with what is happening today, the growth of these separate, not only gated communities, but different ways of life and so on. Let's be clear, and Orwell was right here. If we don't have, I don't like the word patriotic, but some kind of what he meant by patriotic, larger encompassing community identification. If our global community, a nation, is just a legal space for different ways of life to compete, you don't have a democracy, I claim. You must have this more of a pathetic identification. And again, instead of rejecting this as, oh, you want organic unity, you are a proto-fascist or what. No, we left should accept this and say, no, we should fight for what are these values. I mean, when conservatives try to emphasize, I was told now it's one of their phrases is against this pure multiculturalism, Britishness, no? Okay, they have Britishness, we can invent something better. Maybe even a different, call it Britishness, whatever you want, I don't care. But let's not leave the terrain to the enemy. So here I see the problem with this totally, how should I put it, totally permissive attitude of, to put it radically, that every imposition of some universal shared values is seen as kind of a racist privileging of one culture. No, it's the only medium where multiculturalism can thrive. So again, we should accept this. The other point I want to make along these same lines is, this is why I don't like the word tolerance. It's not enough. What does tolerance mean? It's, I think, an ideological category. And I use here ideology almost in the old-fashioned Marxist way of false consciousness mystification. What is ideology? Ideology is not simply, instead of the real problems, we deal with pseudo-problems. Ideology deals with very real problems, but it mystifies them. So that's, for me, the big lesson today. That's what we philosophers can do. I cannot propose you how to solve racist problem, how to solve ecological problem. What I can do as a philosopher is, I hope so, show how the very way you perceive, you conceptualize a very real problem may be part of the problem. So, and for me, nice example is tolerance. It's true. Tolerance deals with very real problems. Sexism, racism, ethnic, religious intolerance. But are these problems really automatically problems of tolerance? Let's take racism. I made a simple test. Above-mentioned guy, Martin Luther King. Go to internet, Google him, and put search tolerance. A word is practically absent from his work. For him, racism was not a problem of tolerance. For him to say, we blacks need more tolerance from the whites, it would be humiliating, ridiculous. It's the same as, I hope you are a good feminist. Wouldn't it be ridiculous for you to say, we women want more tolerance from men? My God, this is ridiculous. No. Racism was for Martin Luther King a problem of economic exploitation, legal rights, and so on and so on. So it's not an innocent thing that today we perceive racism automatically as a problem of tolerance. I think this is part of our, what I call in that book, and I developed this more in other of my books, post-political society, where social political life or state rule is more and more reduced to rational administration, like we don't debate about economy, as Peter Mendelssohn put it nicely 2-3 years ago. Of course, I disagree with it, but the formula is pure. He said, let's admit it, we are all Thatcherites in economy. So the only thing we can do is, you know, when I was young, we were still dreaming about socialism with a human face. His point was, all we can do is global capitalism with a human face. No, we change a little bit, more tolerant laws, more rights to this, that, more social security, but you accept the rules of the game. In this state of things, all conflicts are politically neutralized. They are no longer perceived as politico-economic conflicts. They are restated as cultural conflicts. In this sense, they are naturalized. And of course, with cultures, different ways of life, all you can do is tolerate. The resolution of the conflict is not, I will make you disappear or you will kill me, but let's tolerate. A nice example is here in Mexico, I read, how Mexican poor farmers, they try to formulate their fight as exploitation of poor farmers. Nobody was interested. You know, the moment you complain in this way, there is always some neoliberal guy who says, yes, but sorry, that's a nice word, structural readjustments are necessary. They did something intelligent as a manipulation. They reformulated their struggle as the struggle of the cultural struggle of indigenous people against Spanish cultural imperialism. All of a sudden, they became much more popular. A nice example, but I think for me, a rather sad example of how to be heard at all, you have to culturalize your predicament, no? So this is my problem of tolerance. The second problem I have with tolerance is that precisely because of this, tolerance often, I claim, in some of our ultra-developed societies, works as a name for its opposite. In what sense? What does it effectively mean, for example, in the United States, even here up to point today, tolerance? It means don't harass me. The opposite of tolerance, a name for intolerance, is harassment. Okay, what does it mean, harassment? Again, the same ideological twist. It's very real thing, harassment. Of course there is harassment. There is rape and whatever, and my God, I'm a madman here. I mean, I advocate death penalty for rapists. I'm one of the few people that I know who are for death penalty. So I'm not down. What I'm just saying is that there is also another dimension in harassment, which is this typically late capitalist subjectivity, fear of the proximity of the other. You know, what I mentioned before. You come too close to me, you are invading my space. You talk to me dirty, you are verbally raping me, or rather, you, or whatever. So what I'm saying is that, isn't this a nice example of how the same term, harassment, covers a real problem, but attached to it, to mystify it, it's a whole set of ideology of not invade my space, distance. So I claim paradoxically that what we mean by tolerance today is avoid harassment, which means I don't tolerate your proximity. Tolerance means de facto stay far away enough for me, which is why tolerance can well work also in a much more suspicious upper class way. Like tolerance can also mean, like, I like poor people, but they should stay there, Hashtafuti, don't come too close, and so on and so on, no? So this is my problem with tolerance. Another problem I have with tolerance is that it usually is combined with this plea for understanding. The ideology of tolerance that I really hate can be best condensed in one motto. And here I have really a Joseph Goebbels reaction. I draw my gun. It's that famous multiculturalist motto, an enemy is someone whose story you did not hear. Start shooting. Why? It sounds very noble, no? You are my enemy insofar as I objectivize you, but I should give you a chance, try to hear your side of the story from within, as it were, and then I see you are human like me, you have your dreams, your desires. Okay, sounds nice. Up to a certain level, it works. But yeah. Just replace it with Hitler, no? And it's totally, so, but I go here further now. It's not only that your insights, stories you are telling about yourself are a lie. But I think this very idea, this pressure of, I have to understand you in order to be open to you, it's false. It's again an impossible liberal blackmail. I know I will never understand you, so we all feel guilty all the time. No, I'm here absolutely misanthropic. I don't want to understand people. I think 95% of the people are stupid idiots. I don't want to, I'm not interested in them. The true problem of racism is not, I should know your inner life to be, no. The true problem of multiculturalism is, you are Indian, I'm Arab, he is Latin American. We live in the same block, How can we be decent, respectful to each other without this shitty understanding coming to it? No, that's the actual problem. It's totally wrong to put it in this encompassing understanding. So I quote it in the book. I quite agree with. Otherwise, I am totally opposed to him. Peter Sloterdijk. I mean, let's avoid a misunderstanding. If I take power, he goes to Gulag immediately. But he made a nice point when he said, we don't need more understanding, we need a new code of discretion. How, I don't try to understand. There is something very violent and at the same time, I claim, patronizing in understanding. For me, you know who is your greatest racist? I mean, it's sympathetic to watch him, but this pure racist patronizing understanding. The Monty Python guy who does all these travelogues, Michael Palin, is this, with this ironic smile, he comes, you can see the patronizing, amused humor and so on. That's what one has to avoid. I mean, that's what one has to avoid.